My life has turned out nothing like I imagined it to. I don't think most people's lives turn out exactly how they imagined, but I think a lot of people have put themselves on a path and their life has gone somewhat accordingly. Mine, not at all. I know for a fact that now, as I'm getting closer to the ripe old age of 50, nothing has gone the way I anticipated it going, especially raising kids. Having kids and the whole journey of being a mom is nothing like I imagined it to be. I'm Nikki Lynn Chase, and this is my podcast, Adult Chicken. It's about navigating life's unexpected. These are my stories. This is my journey about being a mom to two special needs kids. When I had my two children and found out that they both were diagnosed with a rare condition that's actually unique to them, the only two people in the world that have what they have, I realized that I was going to need to toss out the book, What to Expect When You're Expecting, because my life had just turned from reading that like a Bible and reading it word for word, page for page, to I couldn't relate to any part of it. And I thought originally I would write my own book. I thought I would write my own book called What to Expect When You're Not Expecting the Normal Child. When Bootsy, my daughter, was about 6, almost 6, and Sandler was going to be 2, I had been told Sandler probably wouldn't survive, that he was failure to thrive at the time. He was on a 24-hour feeding tube. And my relationship that I was in with the children's father was tumultuous. It was scary. It was very violent. And I needed to make a very unexpected decision, and that was to flee, to leave the state of Colorado. I left with nothing. I packed 3 duffel bags, the 2 kids, and we got out of there. And ever since, life has just been a lot of survival mode for several years there. But lots of unexpected, and the kind of unexpected most wouldn't think would provide you with a lot of hope and happiness. But it did the exact opposite of what I think most people expected. I was fueled with perspective, for one. For two, all kinds of hope, because I saw that if I got out of something, which I never anticipated or expected I was able to do, and once I did it, life could be so much better on the other side. I realized what I was capable of doing, what I was capable of changing, something that I never thought I would be able to do or survive or get through. And we did it. And once I made those changes, and once we got away from the circumstances in Colorado, Sandler started to thrive. I was told if he did live, he would never walk or talk. Well, he didn't just start walking. He started climbing. He started skateboarding. He won't really walk anywhere. He'll skateboard everywhere, but he will not walk anywhere. And he started talking, and he hasn't stopped. And Bootsy has become this beautiful, very intuitive young lady who is probably the most content, happy, joyful kids. When I describe my kids, it's like I use the analogy of them being on a permanent mushroom trip. They are just so happy and so excited and love every minute of life. Sandler wakes up every day saying, "Today's the greatest day of my life." I think I've tried to adopt the this is the greatest day of my life every day. And of course, I don't feel like that. Of course, a lot of days, a lot of minutes of the day are not the best day ever. But when the pandemic hit, for instance, I remember thinking, I feel almost prepared for this. And I didn't. None of us knew what was going on or how to handle it. However, I felt like half of my life had been spent preparing for an unforeseeable pandemic. And my biggest concern was, how am I going to get us into the skate park? Because they were going to lock the skate parks. And I thought, they can't do that. That's our sanity. That's our place where we all find our people, our social, our mental health is at the skate park. And for me, I just had to get resourceful. I had to get creative, and I invested in a rope ladder because I thought I'm not going to be we were going to climb the fence anyway, but I wasn't going to be the oldest and the slowest one out when the police came. And that became how we got through the pandemic. And going forward, I thought, you know what? If you can hop a skateboard park fence, why don't you start skateboarding? I love watching Sandler so much. I think it's the drive, the amount of support that the skateboard community gives us and the amount of life that you see go on in him performing one trick. It's the slamming a million times just to get the feeling of accomplishment that's for nobody but him. And watching that over and over again, that feeling of achievement and just it's milliseconds, just milliseconds. I think I'm not good at measurements, but I thought I want to experience that. I want to know what that feels like. So if nothing else, stay tuned to Adult Chicken for that whole adventure because my goodness, that's going to be something to hear about and see, I think. And if nothing else, please just stay tuned. Listen to our stories, listen to our adventures. They're, I think, interesting. I think they're relatable. I hope that they make people feel and understand that they're in good company, even if your life isn't quite as bananas. And I hope it's not as ours. So essentially, Adult Chicken is just me airing my dirty laundry, telling all of my stories. It's been so therapeutic for me to process the crazy from my whole entire life, from my past as a kid to present, even now. It just is, life is the gift that keeps giving magical surprises and unexpected events, turns of events, some good, some bad, some sad, some hysterical, but they're honest, authentic accounts of what we've got going on in this unit of three. Please tune in, like, follow, share, subscribe. You can find me at adultchicken.com. You can also find me on YouTube, Adult Chicken, as well as Apple and Spotify podcasts, Adult Chicken. I would love it if you know anybody who's interested in donating. The donations will go towards time. It does take a lot of time. A lot of therapy, but my insurance does cover my therapy, as well as production costs. And I'm also looking for sponsors. I have one sponsor now, Seagal, which is the company that makes my hats, Adult Chicken. Any donations over $100, you too will receive an Adult Chicken logo hat.